which really brings me, Professor Vasant Dhar, a question where when we move from an industrialization era, okay, to the internet era, to now maybe the AI era as we call it, the industrialization era almost made humans into machines, right? Here is a blueprint. Just get me this work done, and we produce mass products and we then ship it out. And now, and before the industrialized era, there were craftsmen who knew their, craft. Now, when you come back to the AI era, when I need an AI human collaboration, the craftsmanship has to come back, because I basically have a machine helping me, but I need to know my my skill has to be extremely good. I must be an expert. I need to know what to prompt that machine, which means that my skill and knowledge and competency is becoming more and more important vis-a-vis what it was in the industrial era or the internet era. Would you agree with me on that?
So you raise a really interesting question, right? And I wrote this article called "The Day I Chased My Dog," where I had an incident where I gashed my knee because of some accident. I had to go to the emergency room. And I talk about how at the moment we have the worst of both humans and machines. You talked about the fact that the industrial era made robots out of humans,
Yeah.
right? Humans started doing repetitive work. Ironically, it's not that much different now in healthcare. The way I felt like I'd been through an assembly line, that six people saw me, they treated me like an object, they asked me a bunch of standard questions, many of them were repetitive. And then by the end of it, by the time I'd seen the sixth person, I finally saw the specialist, the doctor, but by that time I was so overwhelmed with information and choices and decisions that I wasn't even in a mood to ask questions. Right? So, in a sense, I got the worst of both worlds. Right? And then, they put staples in my knee, and then 10 days later, I went and got those removed, and the wound opened up. It was a colossal mess. And I wrote about the fact that, gee, wouldn't it have been nice to have a machine actually look at my knee and say, you know what, like you should wait a few more days. It looks a little risky to open it up, and take these staples out. It might actually open up, right? But the human didn't do that. He just sort of followed a procedure and took the things out, and it opened up, right? So at the moment, we're sort of in this phase where we're getting the worst of both.
Yeah.
When it comes to healthcare, right? We're getting humans behaving like robots, not like the old days where someone really cared about you. When I was a kid, I went to the doctor, I went to the same doctor, they cared about you, right? And now the care has really gone out of the healthcare system. You're seeing strangers all the time who are looking at you sort of atomically as a little part of a larger process.
Yeah.
And there isn't this sort of intelligence of the process that's coming to the picture and saying, hey, I think this is what we need to do to offer, Swami the best possible, treatment for his injury.
Yeah.
But, I'm an optimist. I think we'll get there, but we're just not there yet, because what we've done is we've sort of made the process mechanistic, atomic, impersonal, and it needs to be just the opposite, where we get the best of both worlds. But we're far from that yet. But that I see as the biggest challenge going forward.